We are live. Welcome back to the Spinning Backfist Show. It is Jack, Mac, and Big Av. Robbie is too busy today for, I think, our last show of 2025 award show. As you can see, 2025 Spinning Backfist MMA Awards here with Big Av. And yeah, the MMA calendar, for the most part, is over. I think there's a Risen show at the end of 2025.
There's a PFL, I want to say
Africa
show this Saturday morning, I believe.
I think there may be an Octagon out there on the 30th or 30th. I actually think not Antalija. Who is the guy I'm blanking on who got cut, who beat Marcus Almeida?
Got cut.
Buchecha. Boudet. I believe he is fighting Martin Boudet, Tapology. I believe he is fighting on the 31st. Oh, no, 28th, Octagon 81. And yeah, so there are some events out there, but it's pretty much dead. And then obviously there is a big event this Friday, which we will certainly all be tuned into. I mean, I think I will be.
I'll be watching.
And if you want to go to that, please check out our friends over at Game Time. You know, we've talked about Game Time almost every episode of 2025. They've been a longtime sponsor of Barstool Sports and Barstool are in Spinning Backfist. And we all know that Game Time is the place to go to get your tickets and get them fast. You can get them just moments before a game. You can be walking up to the arena and Game Time will be there. It is, and there's nothing like hockey season. The first blast of cold air as you walk in the arena and the roar of the crowd after a big hit or a breakaway goal, it's electric. But getting there, that's another story. Queues, price jumps, getting logged out mid-click. All you want is to be there, beer in hand, losing your voice with the crowd. The Game Time app gives the advantage back to the fans. It's the hack for unlocking amazing tickets and experiences in a few taps. I'm actually going to check out Game Time right now on my computer, see what they are offering for a Rangers, Islanders, Devils game in the near future. Even check out maybe Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua, who I know someone just asked in the chat. We will be discussing that in a little bit. But Game Time, last minute tickets, New York, just in time. Oh, it's sports going over to the NHL and World Cup 2026, obviously coming up. The Knicks Friday against the 76ers.
Cup champs.
Obviously, Knicks, Sixers, whenever they match up, big game. You can get in from $272. Vikings at Giants, if you want to be one of the brave, the few, the strong, from $24 over at Game Time. New York Rangers, I know we were just talking about the NHL. $12.20 at Madison Square Garden from $166. You want to get there. And guess what? We are going to be giving away a deal in the holiday spirit. Download the Game Time app and use code BACKFIST for $20 off your first purchase. $20 off your first purchase today. And yeah, so Ab, what'd you think about the final card of the year? It's pretty good.
Actually, yeah, it was good. I mean, some great knockouts. I mean, Kopp was, incredible performance by him. Kind of the performance that they've been waiting for. It feels like for like 2 years now for him to have. Finally, to like get to a fight, make weight, like be there, check all the boxes, and then go out and just dominate. And to put out Rovell like that was super impressive. It was good. Kevin Vallejos too, kind of his like coming out party.
Truly
a big prospect, but in the first round was it could have went either way. I see some people had it Giga's way, some had it his way. But then he comes out and leaves no doubt. Lands the combo, crazy spinning back fist, vicious elbows to put him out cold. He's unbelievable. Vallejos is really good. So I was actually is Entertain fighting on this card? Is that the okay, I was gonna say.
He's fighting in Abu Dhabi, or maybe it's Saudi, on the Misfits card.
Okay, I was gonna say when that comment when he talked about both at the same time, it threw me off. I was like, wait a second.
He's fighting the heavyweight champ of Misfits, or maybe it was light heavyweight.
It's the guy that was on Too Out to Handle, right?
Yes.
I watched that season. Did Chase like Demur or something like that?
Yes, yes. Andrew Tate, Chase Demore.
Was he played college football?
Oh, this is Saturday. So,
wow. So I won't be watching that. No, I'll be watching football.
Yeah, there's a lot of football on.
Jake Paul, Joshua will, because I'm sure that'll be after the Bama Oklahoma game. And if it's on, I'll just watch both at the same time, I guess. But
Chase Demore, did he play college football? He attempted to join the Seattle Seahawks. He was a defensive lineman. But yeah, no, Jake Paul's on Friday. Andrew Tate is on Saturday. I do not recognize anybody else. Oh, Tony Ferguson is fighting on the Andrew Tate card.
I knew he was boxing soon. That makes sense.
And this will be for a belt, the Misfit Boxing interim middleweight title. If Tony Ferguson wins, he will. But interestingly enough, it's an exhibition. I guess all of these are exhibition because they are not. But I don't recognize anybody else on this card outside of Tony Ferguson. Maybe there's some influencers that I don't know. But no, where are you at with Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua at this moment?
The most excited I've been for a Jake Paul fight to date.
Okay.
Because it's like, if it's real. I mean, we think like I'm not the person where I'm not sitting here saying it's like a rigged thing. Like I don't think any of his fights have been rigged at all. Shit, if it was going to be rigged, he would have got a decision against Tommy Fury. But no, I'm excited for it. But I truly believe I won't fault anyone if this fight goes into the later rounds about people starting to say things like that.
Okay, so at what point do you start to say that? That's a good.
I guess I need to see it visually, like it's like the way the optics of it. But Joshua just seems like he's taking it seriously, and I just can't fathom, even at this stage in his career, where he's not like that old. He's like 36 or something. I mean, he literally, his last fight was like for a belt. Like he's not some scrub.
No. Honestly,
like it's not like he's a guy who hasn't boxed in like 10 years, and like he was fighting Du Bois like literally in the last 8 months.
Yeah, and he had a really good performance there. It knocked him out. I'm pretty sure.
No, he got knocked out.
Anthony Joshua got knocked out by.
Yeah, bad, really bad. Oh. Remember the one he got knocked down twice in the fight, and then
Usyk knocked out Du Bois later in the year.
Yeah. No, Du Bois got him. Because Du Bois hurt him bad twice early in the fight, like maybe like second round. And then Joshua landed something that he thought was like significant and kind of like came in and was like going for it. And then Du Bois just landed like that. Once you saw it, you'd like remember it. It was Du Bois was kind of up in the corner against the fence. And then literally Joshua kind of came in and he just beat him to the spot. And just like a short right hook, right, and just put him out.
I wonder how big of a payday this is for Anthony Joshua.
Got to be big.
50? 30?
Yeah, at least 30, I bet. Because Netflix has done huge, like, especially with how much success the Tyson Paul was numbers-wise on Netflix, I have to imagine that Joshua got a fat payday. You could argue in his prime, but he's still fighting at like close to it. You know what I mean? Like
he's a heavyweight.
He's far different from the guys he's fought in the past, where they're like 45-year-old MMA fighters and stuff, like, or even like few years past. Like this guy was really fighting like he's still fighting like big fights. Like, I mean, they already have booked that he's gonna fight Tyson Fury.
Yeah.
Like that's like,
isn't it in quarter 1 or is it quarter 2?
I think quarter 1 even.
Yeah. So I think.
Maybe quarter 2, but like in the next like 6 months, he was scheduled to fight. He is scheduled to fight Tyson Fury.
Got a question for you guys. Who wins in an MMA fight, Rob Fox or John Jones? But Jones is sleeping when the fight starts. All right, so is there a crowd? Because if he's sleeping, theoretically, I guess Bob Fox could go up and put his hand over.
Can he have chloroform?
Yeah, I think it
like just touch him and make him go to sleep, like actual sleep.
I think maybe you set up an arm triangle. I don't know. What would your plan of approach? Because the second John Jones wakes up, you're dead.
Over. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, what's the approach? Like, do you try to like
go like this with like over his?
Can he do like non-legal moves?
But even that.
because my thought was like, if he just like curb stomped his like chin.
Sanctioned MMA fight from Pillow Hands.
Oh yeah, no, because then he can't curb stomp his chin while he's asleep.
Even that, I think, wouldn't.
I don't think it would either. I think Robbie would not have enough force. He'd also he'd have to land it and even then, I think Jones still gets up with a broken jaw
and
kills him. Yeah.
So I'm going to say no, and that's no disrespect to our guy Bob Fox. So unfortunately, couldn't be here today. But
I'm out here. I'm looking for ways that Bob Fox can find a way.
Maybe elbows.
Struggling to find
one elbow wakes him up though.
Yeah, he's not putting him. He's not just keeping him asleep with the elbow.
You wake up.
No, he's not. Yeah, he's not knocking him out cold.
So that's why I'm thinking like, can you possibly put your hand? Well, I guess that's not sanctioned. Would it be sanctioned to put your hand over somebody's mouth and close their, like, essentially block their airways, and then they just go to sleep? But how would you know if he's going? You know what the plan of approach would be? You keep him asleep the entire time, and you lay on top of him. It's a 15-minute fight.
Yeah, you had top control,
and you get top control, and.
Honestly, I don't even think you need top control.
And you go for a few submission attempts, but don't you go for an arm bar, but you don't wake him up. I think that's
how do you go for the arm bar and not wake him up though?
I think you do it you have to. His training camp's going to be very.
Could you poke him? Could those count as shots? You just honestly, you just let him sleep the whole time, and you just stand there and you say, "Hey, I'm on my feet." He's laying on his back,
and then the ref says, "Stand up, stand up." He doesn't.
Or how about this? How about this? You wait until there's like 5 seconds left in the fight. You let 14 minutes and 50 seconds go by, 55 seconds, and then you just fucking punch him in the stomach with like a
I think you run away.
You just punch him in the stomach with like a second left, and that's the only significant shot.
Yeah, elbow, and then that would be a 28-27 win.
You just stomp on his ribs with a second left.
28-27 win.
Yes.
10 or 9-9, 9-9,
and then you
10-9
session. Bink just stomp on his rib cage.
We'll ask Robbie
with a second left in the fight.
What's up, Cameron? What's up, Hot Billy? Yeah, so
get up pillow hands, KG.
Let's get to our next ad. A absolute legend of the show. DraftKings. We love DraftKings. We obviously talk about DraftKings all the time. It is your one-stop shop for everything. And you know this, it's the fight nobody saw coming. We just talked about it. Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua, live on Netflix, December 19th. Two worlds collide in the ring, and DraftKings Sportsbook has the action covered. Bet on every round, every punch, every knockout moment. With live betting and fast payouts, you are always ringside for the action. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app today. New customers bet just $5. And if your bet wins, you'll instantly get paid $200 in bonus bets with code BACKFIST. That's code BACKFIST. You see it on the screen on the right side. If you're listening, code BACKFIST, BACKFIST. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. We actually just mentioned there's some good boosts.
There's a boost. You can boost. It's Anthony Joshua to, I believe it's a first or second round finish of Jake Paul, boosted to plus 150.
That's a good little boost. If you're just looking for some action on Friday night along with the college football game.
There's nothing to do with the boost. I think Joshua's going to win in the first 2 rounds. I think if this is,
I'll be honest, in the weirdest of ways, this is one of the most intriguing fights of the past.
It's a spectacle.
That's why it's intriguing.
I'm truly fascinated to watch, see the two of them in the ring. Joshua is so much bigger. We've seen him knock out just mammoth men. Pause.
I know.
Guys look what he did to Francis Ngannou. He literally murdered him. It wasn't even a fair fight. And now, you could argue Paul has spent a lot more time boxing in the last 6-7 years. But still, the size difference, the power difference, Jake Paul has power, no doubt. But Joshua's, he's gotten knocked out before. Obviously, we just saw he just got knocked out by Du Bois in his most recent fight. But that took he took monster shots from Du Bois over and over and over again till he took one that he just couldn't handle anymore. But it's just such a different game. I just believe if Joshua's doing this, doing what he needs to do, and if Joshua's going in there to say I want to just finish this as fast as possible, but still be obviously not trying to walk into a big right hand, I just think he gets it done in the first 2 rounds. I just don't. It's hard to see how he won it. if he's taking it fully seriously, and it very much seems.
I mean,
like
it's a sparring. Let's be real. It's going to be sparring for him.
That's like he's so much bigger. Like if he just wants to, I feel like he could honestly just have no respect for Jake Paul and just go in there and knock him out inside a minute. If he wanted to just be like, you know what, like I don't think he can really fuck with me. I'm so much bigger. I hit so much harder. I'm such a better boxer. I'm just gonna walk at him with like just attack mode. I think he gets him out of there as fast as he wants.
So I asked this yesterday. I think you were recording Unnecessary Roughness or something, but I was at the desk. Evan and I sat near each other, and I was asking if Anthony Joshua flatlines Jake Paul, is that the biggest internet moment of the past decade?
Yeah, I think that's. I think that's why I'm the most excited to watch it. And I'm not even honestly. A lot of people have accused me of being like a Jake Paul like D rider because I've respected what he's done and everything, and I actually think he's a lot better boxer than he gets credit for.
Yeah,
I just think he's bitten off way more than he can chew here.
Oh yeah.
Like way more.
Oh, we would say that about anybody that's fighting. If we would say that about, like, let's say Bivol wanted to go up and fight fucking Anthony Joshua, we'd say,
see, I'm glad you said it like that because that's my whole point.
Yeah,
of like I think Bivol would have like and I think who's a billion times better boxer than Jake Paul, like not even different stratosphere.
Yeah, you can't compare them.
Like I just think I truly believe if Joshua has the mindset of I want to knock him out in the first round, he's going to knock him out in the first round.
And that will be something. And I will say, I think that's the most interesting outcome. I think it's not even interesting if it goes all 10 rounds. People would just be like, "This is the dumbest."
Yeah, they would say Joshua carried him.
I'll be honest.
I think it's 8 rounds.
Oh, it's 8.
I'm not sure. I think 8.
Think Anthony Joshua can come out of this with a win outside of knocking him out.
And I think in the first 2 rounds. I think anything even outside the 2 rounds, they're going to accuse him of carrying him.
I think
it's such a mismatch.
I think if Jake Paul goes down to a body shot, even if it's the nicest liver shot you've ever seen, I think people will accuse him of that was the plan. For
him to like take a dive basically
after a body
shot and not get like viciously knocked.
Yeah, instead of up top.
Interesting. I can see that. I mean,
it's 8 rounds.
Because I agree with going back to your first point of like, would this be the biggest moment in like internet history of the last like however many years?
You know who also is on this card?
Yeah, it's Woodley and Anderson Silva. Yeah, I think they're the co-main, I believe.
There's another co-main. It's 2 women's fights for the IBF. Oh, it looks like it's a combination fight for the.
Is it Serrano?
No, I haven't heard of these individuals. Alicia Baumgardner and Layla Bowden. Layla's from Canada. Alicia's from America.
I just sit here like the Jake Paul being laid out like unconscious on the mat. I think if that happens, that would be one of the biggest internet moments like ever. I think. If he gets like slept badly, if he gets slept in the same fashion Francis Ngannou did.
Yeah.
Like laid out flat on the mat, like snoring.
Knees goes the opposite way.
Yeah, like knees go limp because you're just out unconscious on contact. That would be one of the biggest internet moments ever. That will live in like forever. And honestly, it would be the perfect way for Jake Paul, like for that to happen. Because it's the one where he can dust that off.
Oh yeah.
And there's like Anthony Joshua knocked me out. Like he knocked out literally everyone on the planet besides like 10 people.
10 people maybe.
Yeah.
Even though it's 10, those people still may be knocked out.
Yeah.
So yes, we are looking forward to that. Friday night will be fun. We obviously will tweet about it, post videos about it, but it's I'm excited. My Friday will center around that fight. Yeah, obviously college football playoff,
Oklahoma and that fight.
That fight, Friday. I don't care where I am. I will be watching that fight.
100%, same. 100%.
And you got to give Jake Paul credit for that. And I think that's what Ev's always said.
He's going to fight. He's going to fight Tank Davis. He was going to fight a 135-pounder, and now he's fighting a guy who's what 250. Appreciate you, Mitchell.
Shout out.
What did Joshua weigh last time on the scale? 255.
Yeah, I'll get it for you.
He's a massive dude. He's like 6'5". He's got to be at least 245, 250.
243.
Yeah, I mean he's huge. That's even smaller than I thought, but still, Matt. I mean, he's 6'4", 6'5". He's a huge guy.
Joshua weighed in over 252 pounds.
I was saying he's a monster.
You're right.
He had to be over 250. He's a huge guy. I'd imagine that's probably what he weighs most of his fights.
Yeah. No. This is such a fascinating fight, and I don't know if there's any possibility it will be good, but there is a possibility of one of the biggest moments in combat sports history. Before we get into our awards of the year, we are going to talk to you about, let me get the lower third up, another legend of the program. That's it. Yep, Blue Chew. Blue Chew. You know that we've talked about Blue Chew a bunch of times. Walk into the room, dick first. Fellas, you already know what time it is. It's time to level up, and Blue Chew just dropped something crazy. I'm talking next level championship belt, gold-plated energy. Blue Chew Gold is the newest innovation from the #1 chewable ED brand. This ain't your grandpa's little blue pill. This is the 4-in-1 beast that's setting the gold standard for performance. Blue Chew Gold dissolves under your tongue and works in as little as 15 minutes. That means you can get it on quicker and stay in the game longer. Elevation without hesitation. We love the copywriters over at Blue Chew. Make life easier by getting hard and discover your options at bluechew.com. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Get 10% off your first month of Blue Chew Gold with code SPINNIN. That is code SPINNING. That's promo code SPINNING. Visit bluechew.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the podcast. Thank you, Blue Chew. Obviously, with this being the last podcast episode of the year, we just want to say thanks to all our sponsors, especially Blue Chew. That's probably sponsored over 50 shows. All of the sponsors, but Blue Chew, thank you. And yeah, check out Blue Chew Gold. You can get a 10% off with the promo code SPINNING. All right, we have a few awards. Let's start with the basic ones. KO of the year.
Yeah, I mean, to me, this one, I thought about it a little bit, but
this is difficult, but I think there's
one to me that just stood. There was one to me that stood out to me. I thought it was Ilya knocking out Charles.
Me too. That's what I wrote down.
We were there in person, so maybe it's a little near and dear. But I think when you take in the level of knockout, the quality of opponent, the fashion in which he knocked him out. He said he was going to do it in the first round. He did it in the first round. Just spectacular. I mean, instant, just death touch. Flatline a guy who has been like TKO'd but never been knocked out like that, truly knocked out. It was one of the most like incredible knockouts I think the UFC will ever see in terms when you equate, like, put everything into the picture.
And it was such a huge moment, and it felt as if obviously Ilya already arrived. But this was a moment that put him on that next level. And it was so clean. And the way that Charles folded, obviously an all-time fan favorite. But Ilya just unbelievable. I thought about the Aaron Pico, Lerone Murphy. I think Protez's one had.
Which one?
Yeah, I know. I would say Protez over Jeff Neal. And then I was thinking about a few others. Anybody else pop up on your mind?
In knockouts, I would have said, honestly, it was both Pratas were good, but I agree with you that Jeff Neal would be the one for sure.
I will say it was kind of a combination of all of them, but Yuri's knockout of Roundtree was the way he left him was insane. The shot of Roundtree on the ground looking up as if he was a dead body. It wasn't a one-shot KO, but it's definitely one that I'll remember forever.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
Because it was a culmination, but it was that one that really just like a left square to the chin. Yeah, I would have said.
I mean, would you say that we put it on the thumbnail? Would you say Potan's knockout of Ankalaev should be up there? I think he's probably top 10 in terms of consequences.
See, it was more of a moment to me than because like the knockout itself wasn't like in terms of like wow. It was more the moment of like the way he just immediately walked him down after losing to him and just finished him that quick. I was looking up quick to give me a refresher. This is what I was gonna say too, and this one is purely based off of like the holy fuck factor when you see it. Is the Quillen Salakian over Nasrat.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that was special. The way, I mean, it was a head kick to a guy like Nasrat who's been really durable, and him just go straight limp body instant. And the way his body just flopped like fate, like, and the force was so strong where it knocked him like complete opposite way face down on the mat like that limp body. That was a special knockout.
Quillen Salakian, and then obviously I think John Attic added to it because he was discussing that Nasrat his parents put him into wrestling because he was overweight. But his parents had, I think his quote was, but his parents owned a bakery. So he was almost, I think there's an account on Instagram that just posts it every day. And I see it on my IG Reels feed. But his parents owned a bakery. And then it's just the immediate, I'm going to look up the exact quote. It was the immediate, almost like the Leon knockout, where it was right to the neck that he died. It was in, I'm going to look up the exact quote. His parents put him in training because he was overweight, but they own a bakery. And then Sal Keel just hits him on that right. Yeah, he's right through his neck.
I would say some other ones. Honestly, I was actually watching the video that UFC did. Oh, the Hermanson Rodriguez comes to mind. Like we were there for that. That was the same card, obviously, as Ilya Charles. The Elijah Smith head slam knockout was crazy.
I would say Diego Lopez's one over Gene Silver was
really
almost
good. Yeah, spinning back was really good. Or spinning back elbow, I mean.
And the way that it just happened, I think there's an aspect of you have to qualify the moment too. And obviously Elijah is a top prospect in the sport, but the way he did it was crazy. Hermanson.
I was looking at my list. I made a list of, honestly, you want a slept on one? I made a list. How I made my list was I was watching UFC did like an end of the year, their best knockouts of the year, and just refreshing my mind. One that I honestly think is underrated is the MAB Bruno Silva knockout.
Okay.
With the elbows against the cage. He was down forever. That was a vicious one. That was an underrated one. But
I think Bo Nichols one is
Bo Nichols is phenomenal.
Because
really good.
It kind of came out of nowhere. You did not expect it.
He was getting booed.
He was getting booed.
Honestly, another one we were lucky to be there as well. Literally getting booed. And then
I think that was one of the more shocking ones because I couldn't believe it.
It was a boring fight.
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere, he kicks his head into the stratosphere. Honestly, I like the Randy Brown one over Dalby was good. Just such a war too, and he walks in just the big like right hook and just puts him down. And Dalby had never been knocked out, which that I always like to take into effect. Kind of the same way I said with Charles, where like a guy that's never been knocked out,
gotten one. Imavov over Adesanya.
That was good. That one was good. More to me, it's more the level of competition.
True.
Than the knockout itself. It was a good knockout. No hate on the knockout. But I think just when I think of like my favorite knockouts of the year, I don't know if that one will.
And Cesar Almeida's over Razak Alisson.
Insane. That one's insane too. Honestly, the Samoan Bashra one was crazy too. That was a vicious knockout. And a fight he probably was losing. You know, the reason I wouldn't have said Murphy Pico was because that was definitely one of the best ones of the year. It's funny when you watch it now, like especially when you really see like what an insane entry by Pico.
Oh yeah. I think Magic tweeted that recently.
It's his big. I think it's his biggest downfall. He just, for some reason, he just does that shit.
He was over there and he started to.
it was the way when you watch him, like he literally.
I'm sorry, I don't want to laugh. He's a great guy.
No, yeah, I'm not laughing. It truly just an observation.
No, you were
like he literally just kind of has his hands like this and kind of just does one of these, and he just like for a full like 2 seconds, which in MMA is an eternity.
I know.
And like the rest is history. He catches the craziest spinning back
submission of the year.
This one to me actually was easy. It was my favorite one by far. And it was more of a culmination of the fight that led to such a disrespectful choke. But it was the Fluffy Hernandez over Delete.
Okay, I had him just mentioned.
Like just an insane the way he just was beating him up so badly through the whole fight, and then it was literally, I think we talked about after, it was literally like a big brother and a little brother. Like just like give me that neck, boy.
He was
just, oh my god,
and
disrespectful.
A submission after 2 rounds of knowing you could have submitted him earlier and just playing around with him the whole time, I think is a little bit more disrespectful. I really thought Brady's submission over Leon is
really good.
Submission of the year. Marab's over Sugar Sean was crazy, but I think the tough thing about end of year awards is if Marab won that fight against Jan, I think he would be people would look at that submission much higher than they are right now. Same with if Sean Brady beat Morales, because you kind of lose the aura, quote unquote. But then also, I mean, Pantoja's against, I guess he had 2, right? KF and Kai.
The KKF one I probably put better because he was a guy. That one was up there for me, Pantoja. but that one was more like a it was a great submission. Especially if you remember the way he just kept fighting it, and he just kept fighting through it. But that was almost more like a lifetime achievement award.
Yeah.
Of terms of like this guy's he's so dominant. He doesn't even get to pull out, like he's choked a lot of people out, but he doesn't even get these crazy chokes. He just dominates you. But another one too, I mean, the Gene Silva Bryce Mitchell was very good.
Yep.
That was a great submission as well. But yeah, I like the Fluffy over Dolidze that's my pick for the submission of the year.
Fight of the year, I would say it's pretty easy. Royval, man.
I think so too. That's what I thought. We were lucky to be there for two of the best cards of the year.
Oh yeah, no, we got lucky.
Was it 317? Was that 317
or 3
Van?
Yeah.
That was the Ilya and Charles main event.
Yes, because
ISW.
316 was June in New Jersey, then 317 was later that month.
We were lucky. We got to go to a bunch this year.
No, we were very lucky.
We did Chicago.
And that was
we did Chicago, Newark, Vegas. So I guess Vegas was first, and then did New York. And,
yeah. Chicago was so sick until the last fight.
Yeah. But yeah, fight of the year was that I personally would put the Ebo as like an honorable mention.
Okay.
That was like one of the best, like 2-minute fights like you'll ever see. Incredible fight.
I have
also the Contender Series one, the Vologden. I forget who the other guy's name is. The guy who won. I feel bad. I only knew the guy who lost because I bet on him and he lost. But Vologden, whoever he fought, was on the Contender Series, was one of the best fights you'll ever see. Truly incredible.
I have a mention that I think a lot of people would agree with as honorable mention outside of Royval Van. I think Sadikov Moto was.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think that may be 2 or 3 in my mind. I even think Umar against Merab was a very, very good fight because the margins in that fight were so small, so slim, and Merab won it. But it was a great fight, and this was the another chosen Nurmagomedov and Merab, the guy that had to fight to get to the top, and that was the start of this crazy run. Then obviously he lost the Jan, but Merab I think still has. I guess we can transition the fighter of the year. It would have been easy Merab, but now who's fighter of the year in your opinion?
This might be a hot take. I still think it's Merab.
Yeah, I think it's fair.
I had a hard time because my problem with the other ones, like an Ilya, for example, he might have had. I think he had the best moment of the year, but he only fought once, and I think that hurts him. For like,
I have 2 that are,
and Islam I think is up there as well. But the problem with me was, even though what he achieved against JDM was incredible, the fight was so boring, and then I have a hard time giving him a lot of props for beating Moicano the way he did because it just was such a layup for him. And you've seen like a Benil beat him like a lot. Like Moicano's getting beat by a lot of guys right now, so it's tough because like Merab, like I even get what Cheddar's saying. Like you can't give it who's got smoked.
Yeah, Cheddar. Who would you give? Like anybody that's listening, please give in the chat if you. So I have 2 guys. I think Yuri for his 2 wins, his 2 knockouts.
No, Yuri's a good.
And then, I mean, this is kind of a weird one, but because of how it ended, but Joshua Van did go on a 4-fight win streak.
Van was the other one I had in mind.
All right.
It wasn't Merab, it was Van. Honestly, a sneaky one. Actually, let me just double check. When was the Gary Pratis fight in 2025? Or was that 24? Because that was the other one I forgot to double check on that.
It was in 2025.
Okay, because I was gonna say if that was in 2024, I would have said Prates having 2 like insane knockouts over Neil and Leon. That's a pretty fucking great year.
I guess Imavov, but he didn't get the belt. But if he had a belt, knocking out Izzy and then a clear decision over Barallo.
I like the Van. To me, it's Van was the number 2 I had in mind.
It stings.
It just ended. It ending the way it did just made me feel kind of weird. But I understand. Obviously, I'm saying a guy who just lost. But Merab just think if Merab he went out of his way to be like I want to set the record for title defenses in a year. If he just doesn't no one cares if he doesn't fight in December. He had just fought. And he would have had 3 title defenses. Would have been like the clear
This is choice. A good point from Cheddarhead. He did win 2 belts.
That's why I said it. That's why his name was Van. He was the other name Islam. Anyone who said it, I can't really blame you because
you know who has a decent case too. I think Michael Morales has a decent case.
Yeah, for knocking
Smoking Gilbert and smoking Sean Brady.
You won't find a bigger Morales guy than me. I'm all for it. You could say Peter Yan too. I mean,
under the radar guy.
Yan had a great year.
From Saturday night. Mel Costa went submission, decision, TKO in 2025, 4 wins. But I mean, you can't give him that. You know who really would have had the shot to do it? I think if Hernandez
if he had got the DeRitter fight,
I think he could have been. You could have said he was 100%.
If he had beaten DeRitter, he would have been next for the belt. No question.
Fight of the year. But it's weird because if Van beat Pantoja 2 Saturdays ago, clearly
it'd be the easy answer. Yeah. He still is I have no problem with Josh Van.
Jan's year was very good from 2K. Excellent. We agree. Okay, prospect of the year.
So I had a hard time with this one because I think
a lot of guys became not prospects.
That's what it's
Michael Morales isn't a prospect.
Yeah, it's like what's the cutoff of prospect?
We could just throw some names out there.
So I have two that I want to. Vallejos, I think, is an easy one.
Yep.
And then the other one that I kind of called my shot with, not a little bit, like I thought he's only had 2 fights this year and one was on Contender. But Yakyaev, I'm a huge fan of Abdul Rahman Yakyaev.
Yeah.
I think he's the real deal. He hasn't really got to fight. Like, he's a true prospect.
Yep.
But he's someone who, I've said this quote a few times, I think he's who everyone thought Suzakaev was going to be. I think Suzakaev is good, but I think he got all this crazy hype, and I think he hasn't really crazy lived up to it. I think Yakyaev is the guy. He's also a 205er. Yakyaev is a guy, remember, mark this down. Yakyaev. He's a guy who I would not be shocked at all by the end of 2025 was like in the rankings, or excuse me, end of 2026. Because I think 205 is like a very division. You can rise fast. He's super talented, super well-rounded. I just think he's a guy that could have like 2 good performances in the first half of the year and all of a sudden have like a big fight on a big card at the end of 2026 and be fighting like in the top 15, top 10 maybe.
When did Royval beat Tyra?
First half, because they fought in like end of June, early July. He fought Van, so it had to be in like maybe like March. I'm gonna say Marchish.
All right. I mean, I guess you could say he was low key prospect of the year in
Tyra.
Yeah, because Tyra
he's gotten too high now. I think.
All right, that's
because like think he beat Moreno. He's top 5. That's where I struggle with it because even like a Prates, obviously he's not a prospect. Like Morales, like when you're number.
I think Elijah Smith may be up there.
I don't hate that call. I like Elijah Smith.
I'm trying to look. I mean, like, yeah, Ferry Ziam, but he's been around for so long.
Yeah,
I would say Loner Kavanaugh, but he ended up getting knocked out by Charles Johnson.
He was on the path. He was there.
And then, yeah, it feels like there's not that clear prospect right now. That is, I think we mentioned them, but a lot of them have risen to this part where they're.
Because even someone like a Joe Alvarez, I don't think is you consider
no, just because he's been around for so long.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's
Asplin will be 2K Red Eyes is a big fan of Asplin. If anybody in the chat has anybody other prospects that we haven't mentioned,
Asplin's interesting because I like Asplin as a big boy myself. I appreciate the story. I just think he's someone the way he fights. He's someone who I think can beat a lot of guys, but I just feel like once he fights like a true like a big puncher, like he's just gonna like die.
Yeah. And then I'm trying to. Vallejos is probably it.
That's Vallejos to me stands out as a true like now he's in the top. He just beat a guy in the top 15, and I think he's a guy who I actually think Giga was.
Like, I have a name, and I think this is interesting. I think Alexandre or Topuria.
Okay, I don't hate that. I don't hate that at all.
Because
Gautier.
Yeah.
He definitely has a lot of potential for sure. Could definitely see.
You could have said Ruffy or Huffy, but he ended up losing to.
I think the fashion in which he lost to BSD. I just don't see him climbing the ranks like that.
All right, then I know you gotta get out of here. Was there anything else that we missed? I had tweet of the year. Mine was Ricky Simone tweeting out heading to the bar. I beat that guy one time after Marab choked out Sugar Sean O'Malley, and he tweeted the picture of Izzy at the bar saying I beat that guy one time about Poton. I thought that was pretty funny.
Mine was, even though it was just recent, it was just hysterical. The Dominic Cruz like pop your arm.
Oh yeah,
fight which is such like that was the ultimate like just hysterical like MMA guy, like this like one of the smarter MMA brains like you can think of, but just said the dumbest thing you ever heard.
Yeah. There was a few other ones I was going through just through Spinning Backfist.
I was like, for storyline, I just Aspinall Jones. I think
Aspinall
was the big
Jones.
storyline of the year.
Most disappointing fighter, I think it's
Oh.
Kai Asakura.
Yeah. Yeah.
0-2.
Losing to getting finished by Tim Elliott was brutal as a big
I think Kai Asakura may be the unfortunately disappointment of the year.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Islam Dulatov is a great prospect too. Hokit. Yeah, Hokit. Yeah, he's our prospects of the year.
So I had a couple written down for a worst fight.
Worst fight, yeah. This weekend we just had one.
Honestly, the one that was recent, the Denzel Freeman.
Oh, that one.
That was truly like I generally think if you broke down, considering two heavyweights, they barely touched each other for 3 rounds. It was the worst fight ever. And then the Valentin Torres Finney was truly horrific. I don't know if there was like a landed strike based.
It's Freeman. What's his name?
Bujo.
Yeah, he got cut right away.
Horrible.
And worst fight of the year, and then
so the other one I had too was best post fight interview, which I had Derek Lewis after he knocked out Taliesin Teixeira, saying he was going to give his wife some ground and pound.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, which that's a classic Derek Lewis. Like you can't go wrong with it. Just especially with his wife being literally in the cage with him.
Yeah,
and just telling the entire world I'm about to fuck the shit out of my wife after this. Is always hysterical. He's like, "What's your fine ass?"
Yep.
I love it, Derek Lewis, and we get Derek Lewis very soon in the cage. Next time we get a UFC fight, we'll get Derek Lewis.
Yeah. There were some bad Dana White's Contender Series fights.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see. Was there any other like amazing post fight interviews? There's some random funny ones, but yeah, I think that's it. We appreciate you guys. Before we get out of here, I do want to mention one last sponsor, and that is New Amsterdam Vodka, who is our vodka of the year without a doubt. They've been around the entire time we've been here, and this episode was brought to you by New Amsterdam Vodka, the official vodka of Barstool Sports, the official vodka of UFC, and in our opinion, the official vodka of winning for all of 2025. Yeah, we got a champion vodka over here. You match this vodka up against any vodka out there, and boy, it's a TKO. Celebrate your wins with an insanely smooth New Amsterdam vodka. We're getting into a big time parties of the year for holidays, with your family, friends. Bring a New Amsterdam vodka. Spice the party up. Everyone will be loving you, and it won't hurt your wallet too much. Find your wins with New Amsterdam vodka. Thank you guys. I think Patty's. This is a good one from is that M Ball? Yeah. What now?
He's always in the chat.
Yeah. Shout out everybody in the chat. Chat out our journalist of the year again. Magic MMA three time. He's the longest winning, only guy who's ever won it, and I think chatter of the year. Hot Billy. I think he did it again.
Yeah, Hot Billy. Yeah, Hot Billy's got a special place. We love all the people in the chat. God bless.
Congratulations to Magic 3 times running. Journalist of the year, unexpected, and international too. So he's gone up against it, but he continues to shine. Congrats, Magic, and congrats to Hot Billy. We hope to see you all you guys next year. New era for the UFC.
Going into Paramount. Got 6 weeks on their card, the longest layoff we had in the UFC in a decade plus.
I think since COVID.
COVID.
But if you don't count COVID, I think it's a decade plus.
Yeah, I mean, I have 6 weeks with no card, but Jake Paul, Joshua.
All right, guys.
Friday. God bless.
Jake Paul, Joshua Friday. We'll be back 2026. Let's make it the best year yet.